Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's your boy, Celine Driver, me, doing another not walking and talking video. For the probably the duration of the college football season, these walking and talking or not walking and talking videos will be basically um, along the theme of what did I learn from watching my Florida Gators this week, or should I say, this past week. Um, just my thoughts and impressions after watching the game and watching this team start a new era, and what did I see, what did I learn, what I liked, what I didn't like, and so on. Hell, nobody else seems to be doing Florida Gator stuff. The community that I belong to, most of them are Georgia fans or Alabama fans. So I have with me my not copious notes, and I just jotted down a few bullet points here and there to to go with to see what I or share with you what I saw in the last game that we played. Now, the last game that we played was the first game of the season. This was against the Utah, the Utah team, the Utes, yes, the Utah Utes. I'm getting old. Have the brain fades. So, Utah came into the game ranked number 7 in the country. They came into the swamp. I think we're doing a home and home. So next year we'll have to fly out to Utah and play them in their stadium. And Utah came in ranked number 7 in the country in the preseason polls. They were the defending Pac-12 champions. And they came in favored to beat my Florida Gators. The last line I saw from gambling sites and Vegas line was 3 points. I think they opened at 1.5 and it grew to 3 points. And I can't say that I blame Vegas and all them for that. I mean, we're talking about a Florida Gator team that's depleted from a lot of bad recruiting over the past few years and 3 successive coaching regimes that really injured the program quite seriously. We have a new coaching staff coming in. We have a sophomore quarterback who had very limited playing time in his freshman year. A receiver core that was depleted by either transferring out of the program or graduating, and a defense that for the past 3 and some would argue 4 years has been non-existent in Gainesville. Thank you, lard-ass Todd Grantham, who I hope is right now a janitor at a middle school somewhere in Minnesota, for all I care. So, not a lot of people had hopes for this game to go well for Florida. I picked them to lose. When I did my preview and prediction video, well, not video, but my previews and predictions for the upcoming season in my live stream recently, I had Florida losing this game. Gee, don't count on me to pick games. If I'm picking a game and I pick a winner or a loser, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me at all. Because not only did Florida cover the spread, which was +3 for Florida, they won the game outright. An amazing game. I watched the game with a few interruptions because of where I was and what I was doing. But for the most part, I caught most of the game and saw most of what I needed to see. And what did I see? Well, let's look at my notes here. Well, the first thing that I noticed, even though Florida gave up well over 400 yards in total offense to Utah, Florida has begun to learn to play defense again. Now, was it perfect? No, far from it. Number 22, I can't remember his name. Son, you better learn how to tackle. I think he's one of our safeties. We rely on you to tackle, my friend. You didn't do a hell of a lot of that in the game. There were like 2 plays in a row in the first half where you had the Utah ball carrier locked up, or you should have, for minimal gains, and they just ran right through you like you were tissue paper. You weren't there, son, and that's not going to fly if we ever want to become known as DBU again. And I think we will, but not on your back, son. You need to learn to tackle. But for the most part, the Gator defense looked, in my humble opinion, not bad. Certainly better than they did under the Grantham regime. And no more of this 3rd and Grantham. I actually saw them mixing up their defense a bit and not being so damn predictable. Let's see. No pressure on the quarterback. What's his name? Risen? Cam Risen? He had all day to throw. He could have sat back there and had a spaghetti dinner. They had no pressure on the quarterback. Every once in a while, he felt a little threatened, but Florida is going to have to learn how to pressure the quarterback, especially as they get into some of the more difficult defenses in the SEC. You got to get after the QB, son. He can't throw if he's running for his life or he's flat on his ass. So pressuring the quarterback needs to happen sooner rather than later. I mean, we got Kentucky coming up, and they got a decent quarterback. And if you played against a decent quarterback and you won, but you won without pressuring the quarterback, that's not going to fly for the whole season. Let's see. Secondary needs work. That's obvious. I mean, their tight ends, the Utah tight ends and receivers were running all over the place. And until that last play of the game, where one of our backs intercepted the pass in the end zone and saved the game for the Gators, the secondary was getting beat, not torched per se, but they could play a lot better. But they're young. There's not a lot of experience, and they're having to learn a new defensive scheme. Let's see. What else I got? I thought Napier called a solid game. I mean, the Florida Gator offense and defense, they're not flashy at this stage. It's I don't want to call it a basic offense, but it's not a flashy offense. It's not the fun and gun of old, and it's not. It doesn't have a playmaker like a Percy Harvin or anything like that to do a flash play. It was a solid game. He called a solid game. His clock management was pretty good. I thought. I didn't see too many mistakes made by the offense or the defense. It was a solidly called game. So I'm happy with that. New coach, new scheme for the team. And this was his first major D1 college game. and I think he did. I think he did well. Some of you will probably disagree with me. Let me know in the comments. Go ahead. Our running game is solid. This ETN kid, he showed pretty good brilliance. I think he had 5 carries for 53 yards, and one of them was a pretty good burst play. I thought he ran very well. And of course, we have a dual threat quarterback. I'll get to him in a minute. It just ran all over Utah's defense. I mean, it just ran around and scored. So our running game looks to be pretty solid. Need to develop it more, and we need a legitimate passing game. We need our passing game to develop. We need receivers that can go down the field. I don't know that we have any yet. Time will tell. I mean, this is only the first game. But if we want our running game to carry the team and keep the linebackers honest on the other side, that running game has to develop a lot better. Our offensive line needs to develop a lot better. Again, it's only the first game. But I thought the offensive line played a solid game. They kept Richardson upright and clean and gave him time to throw when he wanted to throw, or gave him time to drop back, survey the field, and if he wanted to take off, he took off. Speaking of Anthony Richardson, the man formerly known as AR-15, the man can play. I mean, this is his team now. He's not looking over his shoulder at Emory Jones, who was given the chance and failed. And I guess now he's over at Arizona State, where he can play in relative anonymity and nobody will care. But AR-15 can play. I saw that yesterday. Now, was he Heisman worthy? No. Did he make some mistakes? Did he force a couple of things? Yeah. But the man went 11 rushes for 104 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he threw 24 times, 17 completions for 168 yards. No TDs, but also no interceptions. He didn't make mistakes. He didn't fumble. He didn't throw picks. He didn't force balls to where they shouldn't be. And with his legs, he created another running back, another thing Utah had to worry about. And with his legs, he scored 3 touchdowns. So, is Anthony Richards now a polished SEC quarterback? No. I would never make that claim. But is he worthy of some praise? Absolutely. Is he dangerous? I think to opposing defenses he can be dangerous. Now they have some film to look at, and maybe they can scheme for him. But Anthony Richardson proved to me last night. Yeah, I am shooting this on Sunday, even though you'll see it on Tuesday. He proved to me last night that the man can play. He will ball out. What else I got? Longest winning streak of home openers in Division I belongs to my Gators. And that streak continues. So, with that victory last night, the longest home opener winning streak in Division I football, FBS football, Division I, D1 ball is intact. Overall, what did we learn? Well, first of all, we learned do not listen to Celine Driver if you're looking for advice on how to bet games. The Gators have come to play. I mean, a top 10 team rolled into Gainesville, into the swamp, where it was hot, sticky, high humidity. It had been raining a good chunk of the day. And a top 10 team rolled in and played a very good game. And I don't know if the environment was a factor or not in terms of the weather and the conditions and stuff, but there were some Utah players falling down and cramping up a bit in the second half. They came back and played, but they did. They were affected. But overall, the Gators seem to have bought into Billy Napier, and they defended the swamp, which is important since a lot of their games in this season are going to be home games. And they obviously have learned a lot from the end of 2021 to the beginning of 2022. They've been coached up and they played, I think they played above their heads. They made some mistakes, but they did win the game. It took a last minute touchdown and literally a near last second interception in the end zone to seal it, but they won the game. And in the end, whether you win by 1 point or 100 points, that's what matters. So that's it. That's all I got for this week's Not Walking, Walking and Talking. What did we learn? The Gators ain't as bad as a lot of you and myself thought they were. But let's see what they do next week. Week 1's in the books. The Gators are 1-0. They beat a top 10 team. That makes me happy. On to week 2. Let's see what they can do in their SEC home opener against Kentucky. This is your boy, Celine Driver, and I am out.